All right, so we're live. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I think this might be one of the first times that the community is getting a chance to really see you and just kind of hear you and I chit chat a little
Yeah.
bit about, what's going on in the marketplace and, how all of this stuff is impacting us. So, let's go back and help everybody to kind of understand a little bit about what what was the attempt of Excalibur. And so, liquidity pools are a very interesting
Mm.
animal because we're providing the liquidity for two pairs and of meme coins of crypto or whatever to be able to be exchanged amongst the public, and the fees that are generated from that are then shared with the exchange and then also shared with whoever provided the liquidity. Is that a good way to say it? Did I miss anything?
Exactly. Like exchanges, decentralized exchanges, stuff like that. Basically, if somebody wants to buy a lot of tokens, but there's not enough tokens in the Radium pool to kind of fill those positions in, then they go through our position and stuff like that. So essentially, it's there to stabilize the chart, and we just get a kickback and fees for doing so.
So the way we had set it up was that somebody could come in and basically, you know, purchase a block. And
Yeah.
then from that block, they're getting a return on a weekly basis. And the idea was that, you would not get paid unless the target was met. And so,
Correct.
target hasn't been met. That doesn't mean that you've lost money. It just means that not only did the investor not make money, but also you didn't make money, right? If
Exactly.
if it was a zero for the week. So, can you talk a little bit about what impermanent loss means versus, you know, like complete loss or permanent loss, and where
Mm.
are we on February 7th with, everybody's funds?
Yeah, so impermanent loss is basically your position is just pushing out of range. Means that there was some form of event that wasn't planned for, and the position just got pushed out on the wrong side. Um, we're basically in a black swan situation, and nobody really expected this to happen.
What does black
Um, Sorry?
what does black swan mean?
Something unpredictable that is basically crashing the whole market. Something like FTX and Terra Luna back in the day.
Okay, I got
You
you.
know, like you didn't expect FTX to be like one of the biggest Ponzi's on earth.
No, you didn't.
Nobody really did, and then it happened, you know. And right
So,
now, yeah, I didn't expect Trump to get out with his own meme token, draining all the liquidity of every project, and basically kicking off a cascade of liquidation from institutions because people just over leverage the majors.
so let's go back to this. So the projects that you invested in, people were basically taking their money out of the projects you invested in, whether it
Yeah,
be say Solana versus USDC, whatever those pairs were. And so they took their liquidity out or sold it. And when they sold it, they put it over with Trump or wherever they took it. And
yeah,
so that drained that particular project. Are those projects
exactly.
are those projects
Like
permanent?
95% of the projects got drained.
Is that overall in all of the Solana?
Yeah.
Is there a place that people could go to be able to see that it was drained, or like is there like a public site that you would go to? How do people know?
You can just go on Phantom and just basically look at it. I mean, there's more than enough analyzers and stuff like that out there. There's like no public place as a whole, but there's enough information just floating around. I mean,
Just
everything tanked. XRP tanked, Cardano tanked, Ethereum tanked, Solana tanked, Bitcoin tanked.
and so with the projects that you've invested in, I get it that what you're saying is that
Yeah,
things have gone bad. We're out of range because if the range was say 90 to 100,
yeah,
now it's at say 60. That means that there's no fees being generated because the
Exactly.
price of the two assets that are correlating together are not within that correlation, that range of 90 to 100. I get
Exactly.
that. But does that mean those projects are gone forever, or do you feel like those were solid projects that will still, be able to come back?
No, because every time Solana makes a move, they also jump up. But their whole liquidity is tied to Solana. So if Solana is dropping like 40-50%, this also takes like 40-50% out of their own liquidity, because these Solana pairs just less like less worth money wise. And then people start to sell because they're scared, you know?
But eventually, I guess what my biggest question is,
Mm,
should our community be concerned about, I mean, they could always be concerned about the length of time, but
yeah.
could they be concerned about the project failing or not being around in 6 months or whatever that we've invested in?
I don't think so. Like the only thing that we need to do is just hang in tight until the market kind of stabilizes.
Because we know
And
it's going to go up, right? So we know that that's going to happen. It's just making
yeah,
sure that people are going to demand the liquidity pairs that you've chosen at some point, right?
yeah. I mean, it's not like shit tokens, you know. They still have the underlying technology. They're still solid projects. The fundamentals didn't change. The whole market just got hit by a
Right,
truck, basically, out of nowhere.
right. And so at the end of the day, you've talked to me about the death cross, with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Has that happened yet?
No, Bitcoin is still way too dominant. Like it's the main market mover right now, and every time Bitcoin just drops like 2 to 3%, everything else just goes mental.
So when Bitcoin goes, where does the death cross hit? Is it when the volume stops in Bitcoin or slows down to a certain threshold?
Yeah.
Then that's the death.
Um, it's gonna be like a painful shift, you know. People start not being able to swing trade Bitcoin anymore. People will not be able to leverage Bitcoin positions as good as they did before. And the institutions will just liquidate every leverage that people open up on Bitcoin. And as soon as people understand that they can't win, they start to go to those alternative coins.
And that's what we actually want as well. So we don't
This
necessarily
is what
just,
we're waiting for. Yeah.
right, we don't want Bitcoin to go just up. We want Bitcoin to exhaust itself for
Yeah.
right now. Now, what are your thoughts with the fact that, not only the United States, but there's several other governments that are interested in acquiring, like I think the United States want 5 million Bitcoin or something crazy like that they want to accumulate over 5 years. That's just a lot of Bitcoin. So let's say you got Russia, you got China, and so then this death cross doesn't happen because, there's enough buying volume that's happening. How does that impact? Does that just stretch out this bull run for longer? How
Um,
does that work?
yeah. At some point, it's just gonna price out people, right? Like people were talking about 70K Bitcoin is way too expensive. I'm not gonna buy it. 30K Bitcoin is too expensive. I'm not gonna buy it. Now we're sitting at around 90 to 100K. And once Bitcoin hits like 200, 300,000, I think the amount of people that are actually able to buy one whole Bitcoin is just gonna drop and drop and drop and drop and drop.
Right, which will create that death cross.
Exactly. And then we kind of have a power vacuum where people can't really buy Bitcoin anymore. Or they don't want to buy Bitcoin anymore because at some point retail is like, yeah, what's gonna be the next price target? You know, I'm not just gonna wait for like a 2x, right?
Hmm.
And then all the altcoins that are like pretty good and stable in the background, XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, Solana, they're the better alternative, right? Because they still have a lot of upwards potential.
Okay.
And Solana's kind of slowly starting to dethrone Ethereum. So this would be the best case scenario for us.
Oh, Cardano dethroning Ethereum is the best case.
Solana, Yeah.
So, Solana's starting to dethrone. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the volume there is crazy.
and so this is a good time to buy Solana because it's down.
Yeah. Like the first best buy opportunity was as soon as FTX crashed. And now is kind of the next good opportunity. Anytime it falls, let's say below $200, I think it's pretty solid buy option, because you can just DCA down if it keeps on falling. You're
Right.
kind of averaging out your buy-in, right?
And then you'll eventually, see it fly up. So
Exactly.
I want to make sure that we understand. So far, you told me earlier today that there was a pump today. Are you compounding that pump? Are you shaving
Yeah,
that?
I'm compounding everything, but the thing is, the market just gets like a major little spike and then immediately falls down again. Like
So,
there's not much that you can take, you know. The only way how we can maybe approach this situation would be wild asking the community, but in the end, if we would just go over, shift our focus to a more stable pool, get like compound funds there and just get a share maybe there, and just build up the other positions slowly, bit by bit, until we're back in full force. So people just don't sit on their money and just wait.
right. Well, I guess the good thing is that we're not in any impermanent. I mean, any permanent loss.
No, we're not leveraging. That's the thing. If you're playing with leverage, you get liquidated, and liquidation means all your funds are gone.
Gotcha. Okay. And I guess the next question I would have, I know you're working on some other projects. Are those going through the same black swan and pitfalls right now that we just kind of all have to go through this winter together?
Yeah, I mean, some people might be more prepared. Like the Trump token basically handcuffed me, and I wasn't able to close any positions for 2 days or withdraw any liquidity, or I couldn't do anything about it. Because the whole Solana network crashed. And
Right.
this is where we took like a 60-70% hit, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
Like I wanted to react to it, I just couldn't.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, the big thing is that, the goal is to check in with us. We know that there was a pump this week. We know that you're compounding. And the goal is at some point, we'll know that the market is starting to turn.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is just, I know we said 10 minutes or whatever, but it's been 12. I don't want to, let the community have to watch any longer for this week, but, let's do this in like a week and a half and, just kind of give us an update of where we are. So,
Yeah, I'm gladly doing that. Like right now, there's nothing really to share, but the markets are just look at Bitcoin right now. You see like a little whoop, and then immediately back down.
exactly.
Like
So,
you can't really arbitrage this, because the amount of a jump that we had there is so small. It doesn't make sense. If I would just close all our positions and try to kind of go between those little ups and downs,
yeah.
it would take ages, and we would just realize the loss, right?
And then also the fees that are associated with it would eventually catch up to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All
Like
right.
there's just too much going on right now.
All right. Well, this is it. So the Trump token, though, is not really at a high point, but it's just drained. And so people are you think people are now coming
It
back?
was crazy. It ran up to 75 billion market cap, and as soon as it hit that, it like fell down to, I think, 30 billion market cap with like a flash.
So do we feel like it's gonna it since the Trump token, I don't know what it's at now, but since it's down, is this the beginning of things starting to recover? Are people going to put their money back in since they've taken their profits or whatever? Do you
Yeah, definitely. It's like all emotions, right? The only thing that I'm trying to manage right here is my own emotions. Just not reacting to the big bad news tends to play out well.
Okay.
As soon as you realize this loss, and we talk like in a month or two, I would just bite my ass.
Yeah, because at the
I've
end,
been there multiple times, and every time I did this decision to save my funds, I regretted it.
because it's not going to go to zero, right? So
No, this is not easy. You need a lead belly to do this. This is like really, really draining.
yeah. Well, look, so stay focused, stay in shape, get your rest, all the rest of that good stuff, and let's jump back on an update in about a week and a half or two.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon, my
All
friend.
right. See ya. Thank you. Bye.